experience in talking to people who are themselves homeless, my own readings about the issue, it's really clear that there isn't one factor, there's a variety of factors. God knows we're living in a very tough economy, and a lot of people really are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not just a saying. But people find themselves unable to pay their rent, to make their mortgage. And it doesn't take much. It can take a catastrophe in the family. It can take simply the loss of a job. So the economy is a huge factor. There's a situation of domestic violence. Sometimes, especially women are escaping a really jeopardizing situation at home. There are shelters, but they offer, some support for a limited number of people. Mental health issues are another factor. Not everybody has access to the kind of care that would ensure their stability, and so that can generate their own decline, their own ending up on the streets, and the whole idea of appropriate medication when one's not in a stable environment is really challenging. Addiction certainly plays a part for a percentage, I don't think a large percentage. What's very sad is the number of war veterans who have found themselves homeless. I think that's one of the often overlooked costs of our ongoing wars in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Just not enough jobs.
Main cause of homelessness is probably drug abuse, because when you're homeless you kind of just have spent all your money on something, and it's usually on drugs, and all the people you see that are homeless are usually kind of on drugs, and if you give them money they probably spend it on drugs. So
clout, those who have no voice, are the ones who very often find their needs going unmet. The United States bishops recently wrote a paper titled "A Place at the Table," and they really challenge, especially those of us who are members of the Catholic community, but they also challenge civic leaders, they challenge the wider society, to remember that the vast numbers of people who are living either without benefit of food or health care or especially housing are just that, they're persons. They're our brothers and sisters in need. And I think as long as we have the number of persons, both adults and especially children, living without adequate shelter, we're not doing enough. Really attending to the needs of those who are at minimum wage jobs or those who have been chronically unemployed. In many cases, people really just need some help with job skills development. Our community colleges have been good sources of that, but they've had a lot of cutbacks too. So again, it's the safety net just seems to be shrinking. It's a smaller and smaller net. I think too, innovative programs in delivering health care, because the traditional methods don't work for a lot of people who don't have access or the capability of doing, say, ongoing personal therapy or a residential treatment program. And given that mental health issues factor into people finding themselves on the streets, that would be a good way to go. I'm concerned about even the basic health care that we as a society are delivering, and the fact that so many people are still outside the system, even with the health care reforms that have gone on. So I think that needs to be. I talk with students who do Rupe service placements, I talk with students who do Project Open Hand work, I talk with students who find themselves really reaching out and coming to know those who are on the margins of society. And that's very much the kind of transformational education that we Jesuits want to see, that we hope to provide. Father Peter Hans Kolvenbach, who was the Superior General of the Society, the head Jesuit, once said the purpose of Jesuit higher ed was to really develop in our students, our young men and women, a sense of solidarity with the rest of the world, especially those who are most in need. And he even said we need to get our students immersed in the gritty reality of life. I recognize many people work very hard and make a lot of sacrifices to be here at Santa Clara. The fact remains that having a college education really does put everybody in a place of privilege. We hope that our students, whatever field they go into, whatever interests they pursue, will also keep in mind the many people who don't have those opportunities. We are in the work, the Ministry of Higher Education, so that our students, our graduates, can be agents of transformation in the world. And I think part of becoming a real instrument of change is to come to know the other, come to know our brothers and sisters most in need.